It's here.
It's October 2nd, and it is day 2 of the 31 Days of Fright horror movie project, year 9. I am the one and only MSJ, Max for short, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And today's movie is Deep Blue Sea. Before I get into telling you what you need to know about this movie, please click subscribe, hit the bell to stay notified for any future videos, especially this month. I have a lot planned for this month, and I think this is I didn't get to make it to the final day last year, but I have a feeling that I'm going to this year, and just because I really want to get to that final week of October really, really bad. And I want to give a quick shout out to the 13th Wolfman right here on YouTube. He gave me a shout out in his day 1 video of letting people know that I'm doing exactly what I'm doing here. I just want to say thank you, and I want you guys to go over to his channel, give him a subscribe, hit the bell, and all that good stuff. A like as well, because he tends to do more older horror, and I tend to do a little bit more pulp culture-y kind of esque horror. Like this movie has been memed to death, or the big death scene in the movie has been counted down in various countdowns on YouTube all over the place. So his movies are a little bit more obscure than my choices. Let's put it that way. So, thank you, 13th Wolfman. I hope you have a good October 31 days of Halloween, and I'm going to tell you what you need to know about Deep Blue Sea. It's basically this crew of scientists who is trying to find the cure for Alzheimer's by genetically altering the brains of sharks and helping them find the cure. But in doing so, they make them smarter, and they kind of turn the tide on these people. And it's starring Thomas Jane, Stellan Skarsgård, Saffron Burrows, LL Cool J, Michael Rappaport, Jacqueline McKenzie. This is quite a cast in this movie, and they get also kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. You got the sharks, and as well as this tropical storm that kind of came through and which caused flooding, and it's just they're not having a good time, but it's a lot of fun to watch them trying to survive sharks and flooding and trying to make it to the surface. And what is really cool is that it shows you different parts of this underwater sea lab. You got to see the kitchen. That's what LL Cool J's character. He's the cook, and Saffron Burrows. She is basically the lead scientist of it all. And then Stellan Skarsgård. Just don't get used to him, and a few others are just kind of cannon fodder for sharks. But each kind of you get to see a different part of this underwater lab. And it's just really good set dressing. I really like it. The special effects don't quite hold up in some places, but for the most part, it does. Thomas Jane, he has some good moments, kind of wrangling these sharks, and has some like nods to Jaws. And speaking of Jaws, I'm kind of going on record. I'm not counting Jaws in this, but Deep Blue Sea is probably my favorite non-Jaws shark movie. Just because this is just a lot of fun to watch, because this is what I was trying to do this first few days of October, before I start diving into kind of the more harsher subject matter, more horror-esque, proper horror films. And I just wanted to have some fun, and Deep Blue Sea is right there, right top of the list to have some fun to watch. I think that's really about it. The gore is pretty good. Like I said, the special effects don't quite hold up nowadays, but I think that's perfect, because I don't think you could make a movie like this nowadays, because I don't think the studio would take a chance to make something like this unless there wasn't like The Rock behind it, or someone who had some really extreme pull to get something like this made. You just don't see movies like this anymore. I think that's why we haven't seen a Judge Dredd. I love that Carl Urban one. And it's kind of like that, where they're just trying to fight their way out of this building, when you got a rock and a hard place, where you got like in Dredd, where they're just gangs of levels and levels of gangs in this tower, and I'm just like, oh, and this is like levels of flooding and sharks could be around any corner. I just like those type of movies, which is just I don't know why I really like them. I just like those kind of films. Um, what else is there to say that hasn't already been said? There was a couple moments where it's like, "Oh my god, lady," or like, "Dude," and just like, "Why?" But I think that kind of gets you engaged in this type of film, and that's what I really like. I mean, when characters make bad choices, I think that's purposely done to get a reaction out of the viewer, and I really like that. That one of the biggest reactions for me is kind of later on in the movie, um, and as well as like the oh my god death scene from like like that's been memed and counted down in various YouTube countdowns all over the place. You know, it's like if you've seen the movie, that you know what I'm talking about. But overall, just this is just a fun movie. I highly recommend this. So I do have a rating scale. I think I'm not going to do it this year because I just wanted to just talk about movies. I know I did one for Taming the T-Rex, but I think I'm just going to just do a quick say, hey, I highly recommend this. Um, if I think this is definitely best watched with a group if I had to give a rating, but for the most part, just check it out and have fun. Get some popcorn and watch a movie. So, thank you. I am the one and only MSJ, Max for short. Once again, click subscribe, hit the bell to stay notified, and like this video and share it wherever you want to. I would deeply appreciate it. And thank you, and see you on day 3.